Right, lads and ladies, we're back. This video is the most important video of any video that's going to be on this channel. This is going to be the most important. It's going to be risk management. Why is risk management so important? First of all, let's break down what risk management is. Risk management is the cornerstone of successful trading. Without a solid understanding of risk management and its role in trading, achieving consistent profitability is nearly impossible. Risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, and controlling threats to your trading capital. Capital is just your money. It is crucial because trading is inherently risky, and without proper risk management, even the most skilled traders can face significant losses. The primary goal of risk management is to preserve capital, as protecting your capital is more important than making profits. After all, what good is winning a trade if you keep losing your gains in subsequent trades and other trades? Now, so when we think of risk management, the most important thing that we need to understand is risk to reward. How much are you risking? How much do you stand to gain? And is that risk to reward worth it? And then, for example, you don't want to risk, let's take this first example. This is a one-to-one risk to reward. In other words, you may be risking 100 quid in this trade to make, bear with me. You may be risking 100 quid on this trade to make 100 quid. Fair enough. That's a one-to-one risk to reward. For every $1 that you're risking, you stand to make $1. Fair enough. It makes sense if you have a high win rate. If you're winning 80% of your trades, a one-to-one might do it. But it wouldn't quite make sense if we were to take a 1 to 0.5. So for every dollar that we risk, we stand to make only 50 cents. So that means that if we win a trade, we make 50 cents. But if we lose a trade, well, then we lose two wins worth of trades. We lose 50 cents. So when we win one trade, we're up 50 cents. But then when we lose a trade, well, then we're down €1. So we're down double when we lose than when we win. So it doesn't make any sense. You don't want to ever have a negative risk to reward ratio. And you always want to have a one to 2 ideally. Or 1 to 3 is the most common, most ideal. So now if we look over at 1 to 2 risk to reward, it's slightly better. The higher up in the risk to reward that you go, the less what's the word? Say, for example, you have an 80% win rate. You might get away with an 80% win rate on a 1-to-1, but if you have a 60% win rate on a 1 to 2, that means you're still going to be in profit. Or if you have a 50% win rate on a 1 to 2, you're still going to be in profit. Say, for example, if we take 100 trades, we lose 50, which means we lose half the trades, and then we win 50, which means we win half the trades. But at a 1 to 2, every time we win, we make twice as much as we lose. Do you understand? So with a 1-to-1, if we take 100 trades and we lose 50 and we make 50, we win 50, but then you only break even. There's no your percentage risk to reward has, or your ratio for your trades has to be so high. You have to have your win rate so high at a 1-to-1 that you're always constantly winning trades. Whereas if you have a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, you get a bit more leeway where your win rate doesn't have to be so high. It can be 50%, and a 50% at a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 is still perfect. For example, if you have a 50% win rate on a 1 to 3 and you take the same 100 batch of trades, you lose 50 of them. Say you risk €1 a trade, you lose 50. Now, so you're down 50 quid, but then you win 50% of them. And when you win, you make 3 times more than when you lose. So you're up 150 quid and you're down 50 quid. So you're still in profit. I hope that makes sense. Now, this may be a shorter video, but it doesn't make it any less important. I'm trying to keep it short because I don't want to ramble on, but it's so important and so simple at the same time that you don't want to overthink it and get carried away with it. And when you're taking your trades, make sure you have a set in your trading plan, a set risk to reward ratio. And it's important to understand as well, when you're trading, 80% of your trades are mental. It's all good and well going onto your trade, and anybody can mark up a trade, the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis. But if we have set that we have a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, so when you stand to make, you lose 100 quid and you stand to make 300 quid, that's a gamble that I'm willing to take. Do you know what I mean? Based off your fundamentals and your technicals, that's a trade that you're willing to take. No problem. But see, the issue is now, if we have down in our trading plan that we have a minimum risk 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, and then the fear kicks in. Oh, well, I'm in profit now, so what do we do? Oh, well, I'm in profit and the profit is 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5, say, but we should be waiting for a 1 to 3, and you take a profit out here. Well, that skews then. If you take those same 100 batch of trades, that skews your percentage. So you can no longer win 50% and lose 50% and still be in profit. Why? Because you're either skewing, you haven't held to your 1 to 3 or your 1 to 2 or whatever it may be. So it's important to manage your trade instead of taking your profits off the table super soon, like too soon. It's always a million times better and correct risk management to simple. Move your stop loss to break even. Once you move your stop loss to break even, it takes all the emotion out of the trade. It's important to remember when we enter a trade, we enter based off certain technicals, certain fundamentals, certain economic, what's going on in the economy, certain geopolitical factors, wars, stuff like that. We know why we entered the trade. We know our bias. So it's important not to shift our bias. If price action shows you information that wants to make you shift your bias, that's perfect. That's fair enough. But don't shift your bias based off of emotion. The best way to do it, take your stop loss, and when you hit your 1 to 1, move your stop loss to break even. Take some profits off the table if you want it. Like that, it's important to preserve the capital that you have. You don't want to keep losing it. It's all good and well. You can't trade what's not there. It's all good and well to trade and win 5 trades, but if your risk management is shite, well then when you lose a few trades in a row, you're done. You're bust. You just got lucky for the 5 trades and now you have nothing to trade with. So now you're back bust. You have nothing. So it's important. It's more important to preserve the capital that you have than it is to actually make it. How do I get this back now? So when we say move your stop loss into break even, that simply put just means, excuse me, that simply means just put your stop loss to where your entry point is. That way, if price does come down and does something like happy days, we tapped in, happy days, we tapped into our trade, right? Now we're working back up. And then we're going to move our stop loss to break even. That means we're out of this trade now. The emotion is taken out of the trade. The trade is running risk free. So if you're confident in the fact that why you place your trade, your fundamentals and your technicals, you know why you place it. So even if the trade goes up, happy days, handy, you get on to the next trade. But if the trade comes back down, because your stop loss is at the price that you entered in at, you stand to lose nothing either. So that's the best way to do it. And it's important as well. Another way to do it is to trail your stop losses. Now we talk about trading our stop losses. So simple, very, very, very simple thing to do. This is our entry point. This is our stop loss. Say, for example, price goes up. Price goes up to there. We've moved our stop loss into break even. Okay, well then what do we do? Maybe you might want to take some profits off the table around this low. So what we do then, we take our stop loss and it's at break even, and then we pull it up the way to beneath this low. So you still have to get in all of this profit and the rest of it's all running. So whether this trade continues to go up or whether it comes back down, you're still out there making profit on this trade. So it's important to very important to understand how we manage our risk and why we manage our risk as well. And why we manage our risk as well. When we're talking about trading, we have 4 outcomes of a trade, and that's it. No more. 4 outcomes. You should either only take a small loss, which is your 1 to 1 or your 1 to 2 or your 1 to 3. Small loss in your account. You want to break even in your account. That's after when we move our stop loss into our entry price. You have a small win, and then you have a big win. There is no reason for you to be taking a big, massive. That doesn't make any sense. Take something like that. You can see it. It doesn't make any sense. You start to lose all of this and just gain this little bit, or even like this. I've seen somebody trade a 0.7 like that, 0.7. So he's risking all of this in order to make just that little bit there. Doesn't make any sense. It's so like that. Some people can do it. If your strategy is unbelievable, you may get away with it, but it's not good risk management and it won't last long term. So Trading it's a long-term game. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a skill. It's a job. So make sure you're treating it like that. What else do we go? Oh, man, that'll be doing this to me. Yeah, there's going to be another video on emotions. They're key. Risk management and emotions in trading are going to be the two biggest factors in your trading. So make sure you understand them and make sure you know how to use them properly. It's important to try trade. There's a good book called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Slow technology, man. This is a brilliant book. Brilliant book. Just talks about how to take the emotions out of your trading. And like that, we're trading up against computers. Those days of people in suits screaming at their monitors, phone in the hand, they're gone. There's probably a few people that still do it, but they're gone for the most part. So if you're trading against a computer, trade like you're a robot. If you're trading against a robot, trade like you're a robot. Take the emotion out of it completely. And remember, your capital is your lifeline. A professional trader watches their account, like the diver watches their oxygen level. Without it, you're bush, you're done, you're gone, you're done in. So it's important to remember, quick, short enough video, most important video that we're going to have on the channel so far. So remember, practice it,